Okay, welcome back. What I wanted to talk about here now, we're talking about what? The barriers. The barriers. Barriers to effective communication. We talk about barriers. These are limitations that always appears in the communication to make it not good, to put some of the challenges that always come within the communication. So barriers to effective communication are conditions that exist in between the sender and the receiver, which are the effects of distorting or limitation or destroying the message. All those chances that destroy the message, don't destroy the effect or the factual message. That's what barriers are. So, and the barriers are always there between the receiver and the sender. And we want to look at them, each one of them, one by one. So, let's look at these things that distort, or these things that destroy our message that we intend to pass from the source to the receiver. So, these barriers are discussed below. Let's look at them one by one. So, one, language barrier. This is where the receiver is unable to understand the word, the language being used by the sender. It may be due to what? The use of a foreign language or the use of different accents. I know that in our country, Kenya, we are people of diverse. We are from different ethnic backgrounds. There are some people who, if they don't learn Kiswahili and also English, then they cannot communicate with the other people. Why? Because they only know their local dialect. So if it's appear in a way that somebody doesn't know or doesn't have any knowledge in English or Kiswahili, then it becomes difficult for these people to understand themselves. Then at the same time, we'll find that there's somebody who's good maybe in foreign language. And another person where they are going to, they are not well informed about the language. Then we'll find that the message will not be passed. And these are the barriers. So difference in language barrier, whereby we have somebody maybe good in Arabic, but other person doesn't understand Arabic. Understand? Like if I tell somebody that who's good in Arabic, somebody doesn't understand what that means. Understand? If I tell somebody that mas muka, somebody doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, what's your name? Then if somebody doesn't understand Arabic properly, then it becomes a barrier to effective communication. Now the next is poor listening. Poor listening. Poor listening comes in different forms. There's whereby you're understanding something but you misinterpret it. That is one poor listening. Another one comes whereby you don't understand, you didn't understand, you just hear but you didn't listen to it. There's difference between listening and hearing. Understand? So when you hear but you don't listen to it, then that is also poor. That also affects the information. But then, without wasting my time, let's look at them in detail. So communication is effective when the recipient is keen listener. When you are a keen listener, it's very effective. But listening requires careful attention and concentration. So poor concentration or poor communication, therefore, render communication worse, ineffective. You see? So if you don't have proper listening skills, then the communication will always. That's why you find that a student is one student doing well than others. Why? Because the student is much good in listening skill than another person, especially when it is class 1. But then there are others who are supposed to go to the book first, refer to what was said, to act as a backup for what was taught or for what was taught in exam in class, for them to come up comfortable with whichever area that might be set. So these are the diversity as far as the classroom or class environment is concerned. Then the next thing is negative attitudes. When I want to say something to you, when you have negative attitude towards me, you will automatically not get anything I'm going to say. So in most cases, what affects the communication or effective communication among ourselves. So if there's somebody who wants to talk to you, you hate that person, you will not be able to give time for that person to talk to you. And that, in one way or the other, can affect communication. But then, a wise person is somebody who is listening. Either you don't like the person or you like the person. A person who listens, that's a wise person. So when you talk about attitudes, it takes in or take into consideration what is wisdom. And wisdom is not something you are supposed to be born with. Wisdom is something that you acquire, and you acquire it through experience. So attitude refers to the feelings of communicating parties toward the world, towards another. So when you have a negative feeling, then you will not be able to give a damn or to give them a chance to talk. So where these feelings are negative, or they may be what? Intentional misunderstanding of the message, resulting in ineffective communication. I just say that also misunderstanding. If I say maybe if somebody who you don't like offered you maybe something, or offered you maybe a book or any other thing, because you don't like that person, you will interpret that message as somebody is judging you in a sense that you cannot afford that. You understand? So this thing always comes with different perspective. That's why it's good to be a good listener. It's good to be wise. Wisdom is good in this one. By the way, when it comes to communication, wisdom is something very, very good. Somebody is calling you on the phone, then you close it already, or you cut it already. It's good to give just the chance to listen to what the person says, even if you don't like it. So that the message cannot be distorted. Then the next is poor timing. You are talking to somebody when he's sleeping. What do you expect? You're talking to somebody when he's in a hurry. What do you expect? You're talking to somebody when she's crying. What do you expect? So poor timing is also something or another barrier to effective communication. For example, let's look at it on the screen. That for communication to be effective, the message should be sent and received at the appropriate time. For example, the message sent when somebody is in hurry may not be properly received. And I'll just say that. And also poor timing therefore contributes to ineffective communication. Somebody is sleeping and you are really giving that person a very important lecture. Then you don't mistake those people when they make any mistake, because the time you chose to send that message is not right. Then the next is use of wrong medium. When you use the wrong medium, it also affects the what? The information. So medium refers to the means of communication used. So the means of communication used should be what? Appropriate for the message being conveyed. For example, one cannot convey confidential message effectively using what? Audiovisual. Like you are sending a private message on TV. You see, that is not appropriate. You choose good media but for the wrong information. Something private is not displayed in the TV where everybody will see them. Like social media has provided this immense effect, whereby people share people's secrets. You see, the media there is meant for everybody, but if you expose the secret of somebody, that is the choice of wrong media, and many people will misinterpret you. Other people will start judging you. Why? Because you sent a message but you chose the wrong media, or somebody will not take serious of what you're trying to say. If you're addressing me one-on-one, I'll take that serious. But if you're addressing me, whereby you're addressing me in front of very many people, and a good example is media, then I'll not respond to you. Why? Because automatically you are talking to me. If the message was meant for me, then you're supposed to talk to me one-on-one, or you're supposed to send it to me confidentially, privately, not exposing to other, maybe 1,000 people to see it in the name of sending it to me. So in most cases, that also affects the what? The effective communication that we always have around us. Then the next one is prejudgment. You prejudge. Prejudgments also come when you have a bad negative attitude, or you have a knowledge about somebody already. Prejudge, when I'm explaining something to you because you know it already, prejudge. Or somebody that you dislike, when they want to speak, you already dislike whatever they're going to say because you tend to say that you know it, or you tend to say that you don't know it. So prejudgment refers to the past experience and knowledge about the sender and the message. You have got a knowledge about the sender of the message. And therefore, for example, the message conveyed by the sender who is well-known drunk. If somebody is well-known drunk, the person is always drunk each and every time, then you will not take this message seriously. That is prejudgment. You never know, maybe that person was not drunk at that time, So you prejudge them because of that attitude you have already, based on the knowledge you have toward that person. Then you'll be able not to give them what? Chance. The negative prejudgments therefore contribute to effective what? Communication. Then the next one is emotional response. These are reactions resulting from anger and excitement. When somebody is excited, too much excitement, or somebody is anger, it may affect it may distort the message. Because when somebody is speaking, when he's angry, that means that everything is going to respond, or everything is going to give is based on not his himself, not his nature, but out of anger. That's why it's always good when you are hungry, you keep quiet, you don't talk, because in each and every time, anger always defines people negatively. When you are angry, even if you are a good person, what you will say, it's not going to be defining you or your true character. So that is it. Now the next, unclear system within the organization. Unclear system comes when the channel or personal information within the organization are not clear. Message will get to the right person as the message will not get to the right person at the intended time, because you passed an information but the channel is not clear. You are talking to people maybe on the radio, while people you are having them just in front of you. You are having people, maybe you are a manager or something, but you are taking information that you are supposed to pass to them. You are doing that on the radio while you are having them. You can finish with them face to face. So that also brings distortion or destruction of the message. So the next is noise, where there are very many noise in terms of noise that comes maybe from the machine, that comes from the industries and etc. This message, or people are making noise in class. The teacher is teaching but other people are making noise. That will always affect the information that are being received. Understand? Then the next is unfamiliar and verbal signs. When I'm using this unfamiliar, there are some people who have different meaning for different verbal cues or verbal sign or signal. For example, in China, when you nod your head this way, it means difference. In Africans, wherever that means yes. So when you go to China, maybe you start using those, they will not understand. And there are some signs which will not understand. Like if I say this one, if I say this, to some people doesn't understand what this means. This is a signal. But then when you go to it, this means small. But then if you don't understand them, then that information will be distorted. Then before we finish, let's look at the feature of effective communication. What can make communication to be effective? And they are always coming in 4 ways. So it should be relatively cheap, it should be widely available, and it should be relatively fast. Then the last, it should offer a variety of means of communication. So that's marked the end of our lesson today. Otherwise, have a nice time. Thank you, and God bless you.